During the Great Depression, which began in the late 1920s and lasted into the 1930s, the economic conditions in the United States and around the world were incredibly challenging. Factories were shutting down, leading to mass unemployment. People faced extreme financial hardship, and many lost their jobs, homes, and savings. The atmosphere was one of fear and uncertainty as families struggled to make ends meet, with some even going hungry. This period is often characterized by its widespread poverty and despair, as people grappled with the harsh realities of economic collapse. The Great Depression had several key factors that contributed to its onset. In the United States, domestic causes included excessive speculation in the stock market, where people were buying stocks using borrowed money. This speculative frenzy led to a stock market crash in 1929. Additionally, there was overproduction in various industries, meaning too many goods were being produced, but people couldn't afford to buy them. This contributed to business closures and unemployment. Internationally, the aftermath of World War I played a role, with war debts and economic instability affecting many countries. The interconnectedness of global economies means that economic problems in one country could quickly spread to others, making it a global crisis. When the Great Depression struck, the US government took several initial steps to respond. President Herbert Hoover was in office at the time, and his administration focused on stabilizing the banking system and restoring confidence in the stock market. They also implemented some relief measures, like public works projects, to create jobs. However, these efforts were not enough to combat the widespread suffering and economic decline. The more comprehensive recovery efforts came later, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration with the New Deal, which introduced various programs aimed at providing relief, stimulating recovery, and implementing reforms to prevent future financial crises. Certainly, the New Deal was a set of government programs introduced by President Franklin D. Roosevelt to tackle the challenges of the Great Depression. It had a significant impact on the economy. The New Deal included initiatives like the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, which created jobs for young people, and the Works Progress Administration, WPA, which funded public projects and employed millions. Social safety nets like the Social Security Act were established to provide financial support to the elderly and vulnerable. The New Deal aimed to stabilize the economy, provide relief to those in need, and implement reforms to prevent future financial crises. It had a positive impact by creating jobs, boosting consumer confidence, and helping the country recover from the depths of the Depression. Many of the programs and regulations introduced during the New Deal era continue to influence U.S. economic policies and social programs today. The Great Depression had a severe impact on the job market in the United States. Many businesses were forced to close, which led to a massive loss of jobs. This created a situation where millions of people were suddenly out of work. Finding employment became extremely difficult, and even those who had jobs often saw their hours and wages reduced. The employment challenges people faced were daunting, as the economy was in a state of decline and opportunities for work were scarce. Many families struggled to make ends meet during this time, and unemployment rates reached alarming levels. One of the environmental challenges that added to the hardships of the Great Depression was the Dust Bowl. This was a period of severe drought and dust storms that primarily affected the southern plains of the United States, including parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and surrounding areas. The combination of drought, poor farming practices, and strong winds led to the topsoil being eroded, creating massive dust storms. These dust storms devastated farmlands, making it nearly impossible for farmers to grow crops and sustain their livelihoods. Many people were forced to leave their homes and farms in search of better opportunities elsewhere. The Dust Bowl intensified the suffering of those already struggling with unemployment and economic hardship during the Great Depression, creating a dual crisis of environmental and economic proportions. The Great Depression had a profound impact on both global economies and politics. Economically, it caused a worldwide downturn as trade between countries decreased, businesses closed, and unemployment rose.
Many nations faced economic hardships, and international trade suffered as countries implemented protectionist policies to shield their own industries. Politically, the Great Depression fueled significant changes. In the United States, President Franklin D. Roosevelt's leadership during the crisis expanded the federal government's involvement in addressing economic and social issues. This marked a departure from the limited government intervention of the pre-Depression era. The political landscape evolved with the emergence of new parties and ideologies. Overall, the Great Depression left a lasting impact on the United States, transforming the nation's economic and political landscape in profound ways that continue to influence policy and governance today. The United States played a significant role in assisting other countries in their recovery from the Great Depression, primarily through its own recovery efforts, like the New Deal. When the New Deal programs boosted the U.S. economy and reduced unemployment, it had positive ripple effects globally. One of the key ways the U.S. helped other countries was by resuming international trade. As the U.S. economy improved, it could buy more goods from other nations, which in turn stimulated their economies. Additionally, the U.S. provided loans and financial support to other countries to aid their economic recovery.